It is my pleasure to introduce you to Mr. Jasbir Singh, former Chief Engineer in the Merchant Navy with the Norwegian shipping company Gearbulk. Born in a small village in Punjab, Jasbir received his bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering from College of Engineering and Technology, Bhatinda, which at the time was affiliated to Punjab Technical University. After finishing his engineering undergrad, Jasbir pursued an unconventional path. He joined the Merchant Navy as a fifth engineer on a cargo ship. For the next 19 years, Jasbir lived on the sea for several months in the year, which gave him the opportunity to see the world from world-famous cities to deep inside the Amazon, to the remotest parts deep inside the Amazon. After a 3-year stint as chief engineer, after a 9-year stint as chief engineer, sorry about that, Jasbir decided to reinvent his career. He left Merchant Navy to pursue a master's degree in naval architecture and marine engineering from University of British Columbia in Canada. He now works as an outfit design engineer for Seaspan Vancouver Shipyard and is currently involved in building a Canadian Navy ship. Today, Jasbir joins us from Vancouver, Canada. In the interest of complete disclosure, let me share that Jasbir and I were college roommates, and we studied together during our bachelor's degree. I think we were roommates for 1 year. And since graduating in the 1990s, we remain close friends. I have followed Jasbir's career with interest and admiration over the years. I like it when he calls me from different countries or he used to call me from different countries on the ship to tell me what he was doing there. Extending our personal relationship, please feel free to ask Jasbir whatever questions you want. Our only goal in this interaction is for students to learn about globalization and pursuing a successful career in the global economy. In terms of structure, I will start with some prepared questions and then we will open the floor for students' questions. Students are also welcome to type their questions in the chat box if they have connectivity. So Jasbir, welcome.
Thank you, Vishal.
And let me start with the first question. Can you share with the audience something about your current professional and personal life?
Yeah. Hi, guys. I work as an outfit engineer, outfit design engineer in Seaspan Vancouver Shipyard. I completed my master's about 6 months back, and then I joined the shipyard. And here we are building a Canadian Navy vessel, which is it's a non-combat vessel. It's a support vessel to provide support to the Canadian Navy so that the warship can stay longer out at sea. So just to explain how because it would be like a new thing for you, how the ship is built in a shipyard. So first of all, the customer comes with the requirement, like here the customer is Navy, and they came up with the requirements that we want a ship like this. So with the requirement, the naval architecture team develops a hull form and show it to them that if this hull form is okay. Usually on a naval projects, the projects are very costly. So you don't go for an unconventional or a new design. You generally take a proven design and then you make changes in that. So here in this case, the design was bought from the German Navy. So the basic envelope is, they gave all the documents, but basically we here take the envelope of that in that hull form, and then we make changes inside. So the naval architecture people develop the hull form and then starts the role of engineering. So our role comes after that, once the hull form is decided and all the partition in the ship, like the stability criteria and how many partition are to be there on the ship. That's from a naval architecture point of view. When that is decided, and then we do the engineering and we fulfill the customer's requirement and taking care of all the international regulation, the classification societies. And And once that engineering is done, we present it to the customer, and when the customer is satisfied, and customer is satisfied that okay, our requirement is fulfilled, and they keep on updating that okay, this requirement is good, you can close this, and then the 3D model is developed side by side. And once the 3D model is developed, then the production people, no, the planning people takes the uh, blueprint or the manufacturing information from that 3D model, and then they generate the manufacturing documents and they give it to production, and the production people build the ship. And when the ship is being built, then we go and verify our whatever our area of expertise is, whatever we have designed and whatever we want it to be actually there, we go and verify over there.
How
So
long
that's
does
the
this whole process take?
oh, I mean, the steel of this ship was cut in 2017, and the ship is going to be delivered in early 2022 or mid 22. It takes
So
a long
5 to
time.
6.
Yeah.
Now, this was all your professional life. Could you tell us a little bit about the personal side of your life?
Yeah, I was born in 1974 in a small village in Punjab near Ludhiana. And since my father was in army, and we lived with with my father, and we used to get transferred from one place to another place. So my childhood is spent all over India. Like I started my studies from Pune, and then I finished in, I finished my schooling also in Pune, traveling to various places. From grade 1 to grade 12, I think I changed like 6 or 7 schools. So every 2 or 3 years, there was a new school, and that gives me uh, adaptability thing. So I can adapt to this. This is given to me by my childhood. I can adapt to like any conditions, mixed with any nationality. And during my childhood, we were traveling all over India, and after I started my career, I was traveling all over the world. So I finished my grade 12 from Pune, and then came to Punjab to do my engineering, and did my bachelor's in mechanical engineering. And then I went to Mumbai with a target of 1 month that actually I got admission to National Sugar Institute uh, after my bachelor's to do masters in sugar technology. But then I went to Mumbai because it was my passion for sea to join the shipping, and I took the admission, put my baggage in the hostel, went to Mumbai with a target of 1 month. That in 1 month I have to like get into merchant navy. So it was 26th or 27th day. A company took me and they sponsored me for this postgraduate diploma in marine engineering at Marine Engineering Research Institute, Mumbai. From there, I did the pre-sea training and then went to the ship, then served in this company, the only company I served, Norwegian company called Gearbel, for 19 years. And then I was in Japan for taking over of 2 new ships. There I realized that people who are designing the ships, they have no knowledge of like what happens when the ship is built, and what problems could come like after 5 years. Or and the other thing that was lacking that I saw was the ergonomics. People cannot think that if if we are installing this equipment, they cannot predict that how many after how many hours this will be opened, and how people will find it difficult to open it. So there I thought that this is a good opportunity to explore yourself in the design side. But then it was a big step to get out come out of the comfort, because I was chief engineer, and over there is it's just a managerial job where you just paid for like responsibility. And so I decided, okay, no, I mean, I want to, it's enough. I was, I became chief engineer in 2010. And then after that, 3-4 years were okay. You were dealing with new problems, some challenges came. And then after some time, it became monotonous. And then I decided, okay, it's time to quit. And then the option with me was either to go sit in the office and manage ship from outside, but that was not exciting. You're not in a forefront. You're just kind of a postman. The chief engineer has a problem, he send it to the office arrange some workshop, or it's just a it- it's just a postman kind of a thing. You deliver, the problem came to you delegate somebody else to solve that problem. So that was not very exciting for me. But then I decided, okay, and it was difficult for guy like me at this age to enter into designing thing, because designing is all about learning new softwares, uh, and I'm like an old school. When we were in the college, we used to go to like computer lab, removing our shoes. So then I decided, okay, I have to pursue education, and that will give me a break, like to get into the system and know what's to get more knowledge and about design. So I decided started looking for the programs. And then most of the programs were 1.5 year or 2 years master. And then like with family and kids, so it was difficult to leave a job for 2 years. So I found this course in UBC, a 1 year master. And then I just decided, okay, this is it. Got admission into UBC. But when I came to UBC, I was thinking that I will be the like oldest person in in the class. But then I found a guy. There was one guy who was 2-3 years younger to me. But one of our professor, he's American national. He used to design ship for American Navy. He pursued his master in after getting retired, and then did his PhD after retiring from the main job. And then he came and started teaching here. So he was a big inspiration for me. Yeah, that's it. So then I completed my master's in September, got job over here. So still new to this.
So career reinvention is difficult in any country. I see it as a challenge in America. And my understanding is it's also a challenge in Europe. But in India, career reinvention after 19 years or 15 to 20 years of highly successful career is very, very uncommon in my experience. Would you agree with that first? And second, what pushback did you face from family or friends?
Can you repeat your first question?
So do you agree that career reinvention in your midlife is uncommon in India? And second, did you face any pushback from family, friends, professional colleagues?
Yeah, in India, yeah, it's pretty common in India. And in fact, I've seen with my colleagues also, uh, you are hesitant to come out of that comfort zone. And in addition to that, in India, we see ourselves, once you reach in a position, I mean, it could not, I might be wrong, but a certain ego comes into you. You are like, I'm doing this, I'm in a managerial position. How can I go back and start uh, from like become a junior and listen to other people who are younger to you? Or, so that's why people are hesitant to switch careers. But these days, with I mean, with younger people, they might be in uh, I mean, it's a possibility that they could be. I'm not sure, but people in my age, yeah, certainly we Indians are hesitant to switch careers. We don't want to come out of our comfort zone, and it's challenging. And when I came to university, it was difficult to. Although I was still in touch with studies, I finished because in Merchant Navy you have to keep all your promotion take place based on your exams, and you have to keep learning and give uh, exam. So I was like a student till I cleared my chief's exam. But then still, it was a big gap from 2010 to 2019, and when I came to university, it was difficult to like concentrate and pick up because all these youngsters are very good at computers, and so with the assignments and all, they could yeah, I mean, for me it was and learning softwares, but I have to put more working hours, but then I made it.
Okay.
And from family, Inish, my dad was like, "Why you? I mean, you're doing good. If you want to sit in the office, why don't you do something in this only?" There are people who became superintendent sitting in Mumbai or Singapore. So why do you want to? But then my wife was actually my wife was pushing me from starting only to go to US or study yourself and upgrade your educational academically upgrade yourself. So she was not holding me. Like, she was happy that I'm doing something, and she also is engineer. She's an electronics engineer from Punjab Engineering College, Chandigarh, and actually she's quite studious and she wanted to do, but now she's more worried about the kids, and she wants to see her dream fulfilled by through me. So yeah.
Interesting. Now, I'm going to switch tracks here. You spent most of your working life outside India, and now you've been in Canada for about 2 years. In your view, how is India seen overseas, including in Canada?
Indians are seen, I mean, all over the world. If you find people think that Indians are very good at computers. I mean, I was seeing one of Shashi Tharoor's interview, and he was like, I was sitting in the airport, and a guy came to me. I have this problem in my computer. Can you can you see can you see it? So yeah, uh, all over the world, people think that all Indians are IT guys. But as a as a as an Indian person, people see ourselves as very hardworking, smart people, very eager to learn. But what I felt, people did these things. People don't tell you at your face. But what I feel, ethically, we are not. We are far behind the Western people.
You mean
I
we are
mean,
seen as far behind?
no, yeah. I mean, kind of. But they don't say it. But I have felt it, and I have seen. I mean, ethically, we are not at par with them. Like,
Could you maybe illustrate that with an example?
yeah, just to. I mean, I'll give you first example with my student when I was in the university, and then later on I could think of some example in the workplace also. So, like in in the university, I had this 3 or 4 Indian students. So I had a talk with them that, guys, when when you when you're carrying this Indian passport outside, you are not you're not an individual. You're carrying an India's flag with you. And just like on our ship, we have this thing came into my mind since I was working on ships. On a ship, the flag and the country's flag you fly on the ship, you are that country going into the other country. So there in like all these Western people, I mean, in our class we had a German guy, American guy. So if they if they don't know in the exam, they will just give it a blank paper, and they don't feel shame in that. It's up to the it shows that the professor was not good enough to teach me. I have paid the fees, but in India we are so, like, since our childhood it has been, the fight is for the marks, and we always uh, ask like other people, how many marks you got, and if the book is like open exam, and we like to cheat as much as possible. It's an open exam, but still they expect certain things to, I mean, you need to carry only those books. But I saw people, and plagiarism is a very big thing in Western universities, and especially in North America. And I have seen professor commenting on plagiarism in the assignments, especially for the Indian students. And in the workplace also, I have seen people start asking. I mean, they might not be asking the other communities, but for Indians, like how much you're getting, how much is your salary, and yeah, these kind of things we lack in that. Although we are hardworking and we are smart, and wh- while I was working on the ships, I noticed this thing that I feel the difference between Filipinos and Indians. Filipinos are like, they are, if there is a set procedure to do this work, they will do that work by a set procedure, no matter whether it is being done for one time or 100 times. If it is being repeated 100 times, he will go through that same procedure 100 times. But in India, I mean, Indians, we take shortcuts, and we think that I have done this like 50 times and I can bypass 10 steps. So in those things, I feel we lack, and we need to improve on. Otherwise, I mean, we are considered as hardworking, eager learning, honest. Yeah.
Okay. Now, what about the reverse? How do people living in India view Canada? Not just Canadians, but Canada in general.
I mean, the place I come from, there nobody wants to stay in Punjab. Everyone wants to move outside in Canada, and they see that. I mean, they are degrading themselves. They're just using this education just for the purpose of migration, because getting admission into Canadian colleges is super cheap. Like it's not expensive also, and it's a gateway to enter into Canada. They get visas very easily, and then they don't study here. They just do the outside work in restaurants or in coffee shops, pay their fees, and just about to pass the exam, and then just wait for their to get the PR. And uh, but there are other people in good universities like UBC, where people came to like real education, and they want to learn something, and then they want to grow into the career. Uh, yeah, it's like it's there are different things. In Canada, you have a two different societies. One is the labor or a business class. You can't say labor class, but the people who are doing the servicing jobs. And then most of the people in that category come from Punjab. And in general, the people from Punjab over here is seen as either doing, if they are well settled, they will be doing some business in construction, especially in BC, they are into construction business or the construction labor workforce. But people from other part of India, yeah, there are people in good positions. In fact, in my shipyard, we are, I think, only 2 turban wearing guys, and it's a huge workforce and 1,700 people working in shipyard. Yeah, Canada is different, but in other parts of the world, Indians are doing good. Indians are really doing good.
Okay, let me open it up to students for questions. We have a question from Devanshu. Devanshu, do you want to ask your question?
Hello. Yes, sir.
Yeah, hi, Devanshu.
Hi, sir. Am I audible?
Yeah.
Yes, good morning. So I just want to ask you that for many years we have seen that many Canadian individuals are there, many Sikh individuals are there in Canada. They are staying there for many years and they are also in powerful positions. So I just want to ask you that we always adopt Western cultures from them, but how much they have adopted our Sikh culture from the Sikhs who have been there for so many years. So could you please give us some examples?
I didn't hear your question properly. My speaker was a bit. Can you just repeat it again?
Jasbir, I believe the question is, to what extent has the Canadian culture been impacted by the Punjabis or the Sikhs? Have you seen any impact sort of from the Punjabis on the Canadian culture?
Canadians see Punjabis as like a helping community, which Punjabis have contributed to Canada a lot. If like any problem comes, Punjabis are in the forefront, especially the langar thing and the gurdwaras coming in forefront on any problem, like in COVID thing also. It was seen during the lockdown time. The food was distributed outside the gurdwaras every day to everyone, and I've seen people, even the whites, coming to Gurdwara and taking free food from there. And the Gurdwaras also contribute in the hospitals. Like there's a big Sikh community in Surrey, and recently they contributed a very big amount to the Surrey Memorial Hospital. Yeah, in general, Sikh, the Punjabi culture has an influence on Canadian people.
Okay. We have another question from Rahul Chaudhary. Rahul, you want to go ahead and ask your question? Rahul? So Rahul's question is, what are the improvements that you have seen in terms of technology in the shipping industry during the years you've been involved?
What you have seen?
In terms of technological change in the shipping industry.
Oh, it's changed in a big way, especially with the artificial intelligence coming. The engines have improved a lot. When I have seen ships from 78 build to the latest ships. The latest ships have got the intelligent engine. The ME engine is called as an intelligent engine, where if there is a problem in the engine, you have the computer will tell you, okay, these are the options, these are the possible solutions, and you can even solve the problem sitting in the office if that engine is connected to through internet, and you can view that engine at your desktop, and you can solve the problem, and you can suggest uh, to the chief engineer, okay, this these things could be the possible solution. And the other thing is the digital twin is being developed, where the exact model of that ship will be at the desktop, and whatever is happening on the ship, on the machine, as far as machinery is concerned, the same thing will be reflected as a digital twin on the desktop. So this is coming in a big way, and people are, I mean, the industry is thinking that as the weather with the global warming, the weather is changing. The seas have started becoming more unpredictable. So they want to do with the unmanned ships, and that's why this digital twin technology is coming in big way. So they want to run unmanned ships, or the ships with bare minimum manpower.
Great. Any questions? Other questions from the class?
So I'm Nishant Kumar. So I have a question.
Hi, Nishant. Yeah.
So as you know, like how the trade routes have
You're
been
broken, Nishant.
Nishant,
like
your voice is not clear.
people are like due to this pandemic are not advised. So am I audible? So is my voice audible?
You are broken. It's better if you can type the question.
Okay.
Other questions from the class?
Sure, sir.
As Nishant is typing, does anyone want to try asking the question?
So I'm Gagan.
Hi, Gagan.
So my question is that so what do you see in comparison between Indian ports and ports in the international? Like are Indian ports on par with the international ports in other countries?
To be frank with you, I haven't visited a single Indian port. I was working in this Norwegian company, and our run was not into India. So the only port I saw was Mumbai port, which was back in 2000. And actually, what I heard from people, our problem is with the unions. The port is mostly unionized, so most of the vessel have to wait at anchorage for days to get into. The work is slow. Yeah, I cannot give you the correct answer on this, because I haven't myself seen firsthand experience with the Indian ports. But what I heard that is the anchorage time is too much for the Indian ports. Yeah,
Gagan's question brings up something else that is interesting. 19 years you worked in shipping, and your company did not include India as part of your stoppage. What does that say about India's position in the global shipping routes? Does it say anything?
I think the prime reason was this anchorage thing. Nobody wants to waste time, because the ship is earning as the ship is running. So you want to have the minimum stoppage time. You want the cargo to go as fast as possible. So you want the turnaround to be faster. And I think that was the prime reason India was not in in my company's. Actually, my company's cargo was mostly related to pulp and paper, and we are the largest forestry product carrier in the world. And I haven't seen much paper going from when we have a rival called Saga, which goes to some of the Indian ports. But yeah, that's what I heard from top management, that the turnaround was the prime reason for not going into Indian ports.
So Nishant's question is, how do shipping companies handle the trade imbalance between China and Africa? I'm assuming China is mostly exporting to Africa. So do you see like imbalance, and does that matter for shipping companies where most
Uh,
shipping from one side to the other?
Nishant, are you saying something?
yes, sir. The same thing. Like the Chinese, like are most major exporting, and African countries are majorly importing. So while returning from Africa to China, there won't be like the container ship won't be filled. So how do you like shipping companies are balancing this trade like imbalance?
Yeah, this I got a question. This same thing happened with our company also, with the global slowdown. The turnaround was not better. You take cargo from one place to the other place, but then you're coming on a ballast voyage without the cargo to the return voyage, because sometimes you have like in my company, we used to have the contracts for 5 years or 10 years, that we want to ship so much of a cargo f- from you for 5 years, and then in that case you want a ship every from that ship, if that shipment has to go like every 15 days, you want you want a ship to be present there. So you can't afford to lose that 10-year long-term contract because of your performance. So the solution that came was, just for the cargo, the two companies merge together and then they form a new company, where if I have a company and my company's ship goes to Brazil and I don't have a cargo from Brazil, the other company has their major role in Brazil and they could provide the cargo so that I can go back to to the other port, or to the closest area where I can go back and pick up that same consignment which I'm committed to. So that's a solution people are trying to come up with. Yeah, is that
Yes,
your
sir. It
answer?
answers my questions. So my
So
second question is that, like, due to pandemic, different countries have different COVID protocols, like how to like how many days you need to be in quarantine, or whether the corona is spread in on that country, or and people from different nationalities work in
Yeah.
shipping companies. So like, how do they handle it?
So what? And now the situation has improved, but what I heard earlier uh, during the high pandemic time, what companies were doing, they were uh, like 2 3 companies. Most of the crew is from either from Philippines or India. So in India, what they were doing is 3 4 companies get together and they bring the crew to like certain transit ports, and they they used to charter a flight and bring the crew back to India. So the transit port was, I think, Rotterdam, and in I don't know, there were 2 or 3. Singapore was another one, and there were 3 or 4 transit points where either the ship used to, if the ship is not a port of call, then the ship used to just go to offland people from there. So that's how they manage. But now things have improved. There are only few countries where you can't get off from the ship, but otherwise the quarantine is done. We have agents all over the world, so who take care of when the ship arrives in the port. The agent take care of bringing the ship into the port, pay all the dues, arrange pilot, and arrange for stevedores for offloading the cargo. So that agent take care of crew change also, and they arrange all these quarantine hotels and send the crew back to the home port.
So Jasbir, we are coming to the close of the session. I want to finish with sort of our last two questions. The first one is,
Hello, sir. Uh, I have a question. If I can ask, if if there's some time.
Oh yeah, no problem. We are not short of time. it's it's interesting to
Uh,
talk to you guys.
yeah. So, hello, sir.
Yeah.
This is Daniel. So I was having a conversation with one of my friend who is in merchant navy.
Mhm.
He was telling me something whenever they are loading or offloading the cargo from their vessels, so there is some surveyor or agents that come to survey the ship. So usually what they do, they give some sort of gifts like you can say if the surveyor is in Australia, so they will give him a carton of cigarettes because that's very costly there. But
Mhm.
but he told me that when the surveyor is Indian or Indian guy, or when they are offloading in India, the surveyor usually takes whatever he sees of anything or everything that he finds on the vessel. So does that talk something about the culture of Indian people?
That's where I was saying that we need to improve on our ethics. That's where we lack from all these Western people. I mean, here you cannot offer these kind of a things to neither to police nor to surveyors, and they are and these people are very fair in the inspections. I have seen United States Coast Guard inspection, and I've seen inspection in China. In China, I haven't been to Indian ports, but I can compare. It will be similar situation like China, where they want to, just similar to an inspector culture in India, where people want to find fault in you. They have not come to see whether the ship is seaworthy or whether the ship is safe enough for the cargo and for the people to go from this port to the other port. But they want to find faults in you, and targets have been given to them that you have to. And I can compare, since my wife is in the same thing. She's in the legal metrology department where they go for inspections, and so there's a pressure from top that you have to do so many challans. You have to do so many inspections, and you have to come out with, and what they think is that a system cannot be a foolproof. So, but the thing is, there comes the, I mean, it's a thin line between judging the right thing and harassing people. So yes, is in China they used to, you have to settle with either giving bottle of whiskeys or giving them cigarettes, or in fact even giving them cash. But now companies have, Mars was the first company that came out with the zero bribe policy. So they have posters everywhere on the ship that we don't pay. So, and that's a big company, and slowly the company started uniting, and they decided that, okay, we are not going to pay any bribe to. So things are changing now, but still there's no bribe going on in China, but still this, as you talk about the carton of cigarette or a bottle of whiskey. I mean, it's earlier it started as a gesture, but later on it turned to be. And in Western ports, it's a very strict thing. You cannot take anything from the port. And in fact, I saw Brazil enforcing it very strictly. Once we had a survey, and the captain wanted to give a bottle of whiskey to the surveyor, but he refused to take it. He said, I cannot take it outside the port. They even check, no matter what position you are in, your baggage will be searched at the gate. Yeah, things are changing, but yeah, that's where I was saying that we lack in ethics that we need to improve on. Otherwise, we are good to go. I mean, we are the best manpower in the world, I can say.
Now, just
If we
that brings me to my next question.
Definitely, sir. Thank you.
Jasbir, that brings me to my next question, which is, it seems that the manpower on these ships is Indian or Filipino. The ships themselves are owned and managed by European companies, and the cargo usually goes from countries like China. Is that sort of how the division happens, and why is that? Like, why are there not Indian-owned ships or Europeans working on ships?
in India, opening a business was just like any other opening any other business was difficult, and there were so many glitches, and the ships are vulnerable to inspection and being harassed at every port, and people sitting in the office are fed up of with these kind of things, paying bribe, and really they're really pissed off from this culture in the third world. So either that's why they want to employ people from that country and let them deal with that thing. And as far as China is concerned, China, yeah, China with the kind of export China is doing, they have used that tool to employ their people. Mostly people working on ships are either from Philippines or India. I mean, if you see quality-wise, Indian officers are considered to be the best, apart from British, and in crew side, Filipinos are the best. Filipinos, they don't take shortcuts. But they come from the ranks. There's no procedure like in on the Indian ships. People mostly are real engineers who are engineers, but on their ships, people come down from the rank of fitter, and then slowly they become an engineer. So they're not good at fault finding, where our people are smart and they just find. I mean, they're very good at fault finding, but work culture, they are excellent. And just to give you an example, if you send an Indian fitter to do some fitting job on a ship, he will do his welding or any fitting work, and then he needs a helper to clean that thing. He needs assistance all the time, but it's not with the other crew. Even over here in Western countries, if you're given a job, you don't need an assistant. If that job is really difficult that it need assistant, then only you will be given an assistant. And an assistant is not for like doing, I mean, I don't want to say, but cleaning your shit. But in our culture, it's the thing that if somebody is in a position that he thinks that, okay, no matter whether he is in a small position, but the more a slight authority is given to him, he thinks that, oh, I own the right and I need assistant to. So what I diverted from the China thing. So what China did is they put the clauses on the charter. I mean, we call it a charter party when you do a cargo consignment, a cargo contract. So in charter party, they put a clause that you have to employ so many Chinese if you want to do business. This is introduced either by the companies or by the government. From the government, it is strict instruction that if you want to do business with China, you have to give employment to so many Chinese. That's how, I mean, we were wondering that why companies taking so many Chinese, and whereas there are, I mean, Indians are doing good. They're managing ship at low cost, but still they want to employ Chinese people. And And now when we didn't protest directly, but we started showing our protest. And the Chinese were not as good as we, but they were slightly cheaper than us, because this, or most of our ship, in fact, not our ship, most of the world ships goes to China. And repatriation of a crew is a very big cost. People flying from South American countries to India is a very big cost. So for them, it is like, if the ship goes to China, you change all the crew, all the Chinese bring the new one. So they save cost in that.
Okay.
And now the company came up with a strategy to mix the crews. So they want to put Chinese people on Indian ships, and they want to train them so that they could improve.
Okay. So with that, my last question, and we are already way past our usual time, is you've been working for so many years. Given your experience traveling around the world, what advice would you offer to our students who will be graduating soon to work in a globalized world?
Yeah, I mean, the advice, like I talked, guys, please improve on ethics. We are a cultural society for like 3,000, 4,000 years. I mean, we have a very big culture behind us, and we are that thing is slowly diminishing. We are more into making money and doing like, mm, I mean, we have changed. We have forgotten our culture, and so the one thing is that we need to come out of that, and we need to build on our ethics. In fact, to tell you that I'm doing a PEng over here, that is professional engineer's license, and there I have to pass an ethics exam. I mean, they have an exam only for the ethics. So ethics is number one thing in for us, for Indians. And the other thing is we need to come out of this boss culture. The I mean, like here, I felt that when you call a person by first name, you're that I mean, that thinking that he's my boss, that thing is just gone. You talk freely. I mean, the work pressure is so low when you talk with the first name. And but in India, I mean, I have worked with, although I worked on with the Norwegian company and on their ships, but till the time I became chief engineer, I was working under like Indian bosses. And so when you call sir, I mean, it it is like that barrier is there, that he is my boss, and as a boss, you you expect your expectation is, when you're treated like you are low. I think that came from the British thing, and it is changing. I saw that it is changing in the IT thing, but you guys probably over a period of time, you guys will reach in that uh, in a managerial position, and where you will be having a people working under you. So just we need to change this boss culture from our system, and this is not good for the work culture. And yeah, that's the advice from my side.
So Jasbir, I take notes when you were speaking, and the two things I wrote was be more honest and have low power distance in the workplace. I think that's good advice. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we lack in work life balance. I mean, in fact, I remember that last to last week we were having this weekly meeting on Friday, and after the meeting we started doing some work, and somebody was asking some technical question, and everybody was responding, and then the manager sneaks in and told that, guys, what are you doing? This is Friday. You need to get out. No more working. So, and in fact, I have seen, because I worked in the shipping is like a uniform job where you have a hierarchy, and I when I thought that when I become chief engineer, I need to break this hierarchy thing, and I need to break this barrier. So I have, till the time I was chief engineer, I tried my best to implement that friendly relationship with your colleagues, and I saw that the work output is great when you listen to people and when there is no pressure. And at the same time, it's difficult also. I mean, you have to watch somebody without knowing. I mean, in shipping, particularly when as an engineer, if somebody is working and you don't want to be right on top of their head, and but still at the same time you're sitting in office and you want to know whether this guy is working right or not. So for that, that guy need to have a trust in you, and if that trust is built up, then he will come out with his problems, or he will share his difficulties with you more with more ease.
Great. On that, let me thank you for your time, and we are very grateful that you took the time to talk to our students.
Yeah, thank you guys. I really enjoyed talking to you, although it was not like a business thing. I'm a pure technical guy. So yeah, nice talking to you.
Have
Thank
a
you,
good
sir.
day. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
sir.
Have a great day.